Hey traders, let's take a moment to thank and feature one of our top sponsors, FX2 Funding. If you're looking to get funded, listen up. FX2 is offering traders the chance to trade with up to $200,000 in simulated capital and receive up to 85% of their results. If you're interested in getting started, use the link being dropped in the chat or the link down in the description below. If you pass the evaluation, you'll receive your feedback and gain access to your new account. FX2 allows traders access to a wide range of assets and allows traders to hold their trades over the weekend. FX2 is giving A1 Trading Show fans 15% off the evaluation fee if you use promo code A1Trading15. So if you'd like to learn more, again, use the link being dropped in the chat or the link down in the description below and use code A1Trading15 at checkout for a discount on any of their evaluations. Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream. We are here back in time for GDP numbers, which come out in just about 10 minutes from now. Good to see everybody in the chat. We've got people from all over the place. Surrey from England is here. What's up? I'm sorry. Lee from Surrey, England. I said that wrong. Is here in the chat. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from. Always cool to see the various places that people watch the show from. I've got my coffee ready today. I'm in the driver's seat today. I'm ready to take on what the markets have been throwing at me, which recently has been a lot. It's been a tough market this past few months. In fact, I've been bullish on the indices and I've been early, which if you guys know my saying, being early when you're trading means you're wrong. So I've been wrong on my indices trades recently, which has been rough. But I do have some things that are working, and I'm going to probably try and double down on the things that are working for me right now, which has been, I've got a silver trade that's going well, so I might discuss that a little bit. And I want to talk a little bit about what we've got coming up with GDP numbers here this morning. So we have advanced GDP quarter over quarter, as I mentioned, coming out in about 10 minutes. We're forecasted for 4.5%, and that's a hot GDP number. Now, let me first say, what does GDP, what does that move? Because again, everybody, even beginners, they kind of understand NFP. Oh yeah, that's jobs. That's going to move the market. Everybody understands CPI, especially in the last few years where CPI has been incredibly important to the markets because inflation has been a thing. And, we're all worried about inflation, right? Including the Federal Reserve. But what does GDP have to say to us today, guys? By the way, there's 250 of you guys. Could you do me a huge favor and smash that thumbs up on the stream? It really would help as we get going here to get more people into the stream. We've got 9 minutes to go before the big number. So do us a quick favor, hit that thumbs up button. It does help support the stream. So why is advanced GDP on? Why are we on the stream here today for this number? Well, because GDP tells us the overall economy growth, right? It's all about the growth here. And the bulls, which would include myself, which by the way, I've been wrong for being a bull recently. And I'm talking indices, right? The bulls would point to strong growth could carry us out of this inflationary environment. So this number matters a lot to me. It matters a lot to not just me, but many, many analysts on Wall Street, many investors. People are going to look at this. And by the way, it matters a lot for gold traders. If you're a gold trader, this number matters because the US dollar is going to move based on what we get in terms of growth. Now, growth has been a hotly debated subject. Some people are saying the consumer's getting tapped out. They're unable to go and purchase anything because of the high prices. Other people are pointing to the fact that, a lot of people have locked in long-term interest rates at low interest rates. People who own houses, 10 years ago, they've still got rates that are record low. Imagine, let's all be jealous for a second. Imagine if you're someone out there like me, who I'd like to buy a house. I don't have a house. I'd like to buy one, but the prices are crazy and interest rates are super high. People who have locked in rates at 3%, 4%, that sounds like a pipe dream. Nowadays, you get 8%, which makes a meaningful difference in what home you can buy at these current rates. But anyways, that's another topic for another day. That's more attuned for one of my weekend rant videos, which I've been doing more frequently recently. It's almost like I'm frustrated with the markets, which I have been. I'm not trying to hide that by any means. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit about GDP numbers. Now, I have been correct in my US dollar bullish thesis. I will say I've been on the money with this idea with the dollar index. I pointed out I think this level could hold. It did. When we came up to this resistance, I said yes, it probably could give us some rejection. This downward trend, right, off the 4-hour chart, but it's going to probably bow down to the daily chart. So I'm pointing out where I'm right because I've been fair. I've been wrong about the indices. So my bullish thesis on NAS and S&P has been way too early, and I've been wrong about it. But I've been right about the dollar. So at least one half of my idea has been correct. I've been bullish dollar because I think the economy is stronger than people think it is. And that's going to be possibly put into question again with this GDP number today, which is why the dollar is so interesting for us here today. So if you're trading gold, if you're trading currency pairs, if you're trading stocks, if you're trading anything, this number matters. GDP is going to dictate whether or not this dollar strength is likely to fizzle out and possibly pull back, or if it's going to rally and break through the highs. So let's talk price action here. What do we see in terms of bulls, bears? Okay, 4-hour chart, impressive. We got a breakout. In fact, we now can probably make a good case for, even if price pulls back, you have a lot of stuff going on, right? There's concerns about global tensions. There's overall the European region. PMI numbers for Europe were not good, right? So European economy slowing down. Why does that matter to the dollar? Well, it's all currencies are all like comparing one another to each other. So if the Euro region is struggling and the US region is doing fine, the dollar is going to look strong, right? It's all about relativity when it comes to currency traders. If you're somebody who trades currencies or you pay close attention to the dollar, you must understand, even if you don't trade currencies, even if currencies are kind of like something you trade sometimes or not that often, even if you don't, you have to understand the dollar drives everything. It drives everything from stocks, oil's impacted by the dollar. Everything is in some way attached to the dollar by transmission. So if you understand the mechanisms of the dollar, it's all about the other currencies too, right? The dollar is simply quoted based on other currencies. So the currency market matters to everyone. This is why you start going through the webs, all markets matter. So in terms of this dollar bullishness, one idea that I've had was the pound dollar bearish setup. And it actually looks like it might be coming into play here, guys. Remember I mentioned this yesterday? I mentioned that what I'd be looking for, and I'm sticking true to my idea here, was a break to the downside on the pound US dollar. If we could get through these lows, I'd be on the bearish side of things. By the way, there's 350 of you guys. One more reminder, if you could just hit that thumbs up button for me. It would help out the show. Just get us some more viewers for this GDP number that's coming out in a few minutes. Stick around. It's going to be a market moving event, most likely. Again, big support here. 1.2120. Can we break, or we have broken? Like, let's give credit to the bears, right? Bears have been strong enough here, and this is impressing to say the least. I think that there could be more struggle ahead for the pound US dollar, right? The US economy, I think, relative to the other ones, is still looking attractive. And so for me, a rollover trade could be interesting. So how do I enter that? Well, I like the 4-hour breakout. And if we drop it down to the hourly chart, let's get a little bit. So we understand that we've done the 4-hour chart. We've analyzed that this level was big, right? And we can actually get a little bit more pinpoint with our stuff on the hourly chart. So this level of what was support can be identified now as resistance, okay? So, and guys, don't let me forget, I got to jump over to the charts to watch the GDP number, but I like this pound dollar idea as price retraces up into this zone. This very well could be a trade idea for me today. So I'm going to keep a close eye on the pound US dollar. It's got a nice reading on the EDGEFINDER. You see pound dollar getting a very bearish reading. And again, bowing down to that strong US labor market. That is where we're getting some of that bearish reading. And this has been a signal for a bit. I just haven't taken any trades on the pound dollar. And again, guys, we are 1 minute out, so let me not mess up. I've been known to mess up breaking news moments. Don't at me, but it's been known to happen. Let me pull up some charts here for us. So pound USD is going in the top left. Okay, we'll keep pound dollar in reference. Let's keep an eye on the NASDAQ. Let's keep an eye on gold for sure. Well, we'll keep euro on here, and let's pull up gold. By the way, I didn't get a chance to talk about my silver bullish position. Maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. And I know I'm not supposed to. We looked at the analytics. You guys hate silver. I won't. I'm sorry. I'll never mention silver again. We polled the audience, and you guys said you do not care about silver, which is really interesting. It was like 75% of people said don't want to hear about silver, and like 80% of people said I want to hear about gold. So we do appreciate it. We do respect our audience. So you guys, you know, we're only here because of you guys. So we will do what you guys ask for. No silver, even though I do trade silver. All right, guys, we are coming in. Breaking news here. All right, coming into GDP numbers. And let's see what we've got. Okay, an initial push lower for gold and the euro. The pound also making a stab lower. NASDAQ taking a little bit of pressure here. I'm going to say this perhaps suggests that we saw stronger than expected GDP numbers. There it is, 4.9%. Whoo! Guys, that is a wild number. We also, however, had some other numbers come in. Durable goods came out hotter than expected. Core durable goods came out better than expected. Advanced GDP came out higher than expected. So again, GDP expectations really, really strong. Now, look at this. NASDAQ actually pushing up a little bit. Pound USD pushing up. A quick reversal, the initial spike in the direction of what we thought, right? Stronger than expected GDP numbers. Claims came out pretty much as expected. We're going through the numbers here together, guys, trying to make point of this. So let me do my very best to understand. Okay, pound USD is coming up into this area. I'm just a heads up. I'm watching this for a possible trade. However, I'd like to see this price action kind of normalize. And I'm trying to understand this number. Again, to me, that's a strong GDP number, 4.9% compared to forecast. That's going to stay dollar bullish in my view. And I think I might actually be taking a trade here. I like this setup. Pound USD. Let me just size this up. Again, I'm looking at the 4-hour chart, price pulling back into this area. If I'm going to take this trade, I probably want to respect the 4-hour. So I like that 61.8 as a possible resistance point. Okay, let me see if I can. I'm not in a trade. I'm looking at it. I'm deciding if I'd like to do this. Hold on. I've got the reading on the EDGEFINDER. I like the technical setup. I'm going to go ahead and click in on that. So I'm in on pound USD. I'm mirror my trade, and then I'm going to share this inside of Discord. So give me just a second, guys, to do that. I didn't expect to take a trade so much, but I like the number here. Okay. So where are we in on this? Price pulling back nicely here. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to be now kind of setting this trade up inside of Discord. I share all of my trade alerts inside of Discord, which I am working on alerting right now. Let's get this going here. Okay. Okay, so entry, whoops. Okay, so we've got our stop above the 61.8%. Okay. Sorry, guys. Whenever I do these trade alerts, I have to write them up. So I'm doing that now. I'm going to bring it onto the screen so you guys can at least watch what I am writing up here. Okay. So I've got the trade in there. In terms of analysis, we'll go here. We'll say stronger than expected. Numbers from the US. Slowing economy in Europe. Downward trend. Stop above the 61.8% plus resistance. Plan is to trail stops. Price moves in my favor. Okay. Out there, members, go to this new channel that I just put out. So Pound USD update is right there. And let me just go ahead and I do this little thing. It's such a pet peeve of mine. But watch this little Pound USD. I'm going to just change the downward trend on it. So there we go, because it's a sell trade. Okay, so I am in Pound USD. Again, members who are in the Discord already, just head over to that new channel where I just shared that insight. And we'll see if I'm right about this. Again, I could be totally wrong, but I think these numbers are real strong for the US dollar. And I'm going to continue to kind of be on that side of the trade. And if I'm wrong, then I will stop out above the 61.8. So that's my invalidation kind of idea. I do like Pound USD to the short side, and we will let this one play out. So feel free to meme me in the chat if this trade goes poorly. It wouldn't be the first one I mentioned earlier. I've been taking some slack for my NAS ideas, which have been super, super wrong. But yeah. Anyways, speaking of NASDAQ, let's see. I know it's kind of probably bouncing along with the Pound USD. There's the 4-hour. Still just decimated in terms of price action here recently. The NASDAQ down pretty good here. You can see I did get out of my trade. So at least I took losses before it got worse, I guess. But this was a frustrating trade because, again, my initial trade went very well. And just to add insult to injury, Frank actually trailed out for like just a bit better than break even. So he didn't take the loss. So I was like, Frank, you suck. But I'm just kidding. He did play that one better than me. But anyways, I do like NASDAQ still. I will be transparent about this. I'm still bullish NASDAQ, but I've got to wait for price action to come back into play. My idea was this level, 14,600 should hold. It had held several times previously, and it just didn't. So I'm out. Anyway, silver, I got to mention my trade. I'm still in a silver trade, which is good. This one's going well for me. So I'm long silver. We are, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. We're holding this support zone. I have trailed stops into profit. So I'm floating a nice profit here. I've got 730 on that one trading so far. So we'll see if silver wants to keep playing ball. But if it doesn't, I've got to stop trailed in profit. So that's good. Yeah, let's speak about gold here as we reference this. Here's the question, guys. This is, here's where I'm a little bit concerned, and I've gone back and forth on this several times. The aggressive entry that I spoke about yesterday is coming into play right now. Okay. The aggressive entry, this breakout of the 1980 level coming back in. If you're super bullish, this might be the area, right? You might be watching this. I pointed out that I am the conservative bull when it comes to gold. I'd like to see that 2000 level get broken into before I really make a move. Because again, first of all, I already have a silver long trade. So I'm already in on the metal move to some degree. So I don't really, now I will say, again, trying to stay transparent here, silver has underperformed gold's rally recently because of course, gold is more of the fear metal and silver is more of the industrial, economic growth suits it well kind of metal. So two different types of trades there, but they generally move in the same direction. Anyways, so my conservative idea would be if price just rallies and breaks through the highs, that's another thing. But today with this US dollar number, which I think is pretty strong for USD, again, we will test that theory. But again, we'll have to watch that. I want to say one thing, and then we're going to go to Miko and Marco for some technical trade setups. If you guys have not already grabbed your free access to the EDGEFINDER, it is genuinely free for, well, today is the last full day. The free EDGEFINDER copies will be available again, and there are no strings attached. We are just asking for you to send us a direct message on our website, ask for the free day, and we are doing one remaining free day. So we started this series, or we started this yesterday. It's 2 free days. So today is day 2. So take advantage. If you have not already checked out the EDGEFINDER, send us a direct message, totally free to do so. If you message us, we will be sending you access for the day so you can check it out for yourself. You can click through the software, you can play around with it, you can see all the tweaks that we've made recently, so on and so forth. So if you would like access to the EDGEFINDER 100% for free, we'll send you over the link. Just direct message us. Again, all you have to do that is click this link. So click the link that we just dropped in the chat, click chat now, and then click free EDGEFINDER access. And you can see it goes from 25th to the 27th. Today is the 26th. So you've got about a day and a half left of free access to try out the EDGEFINDER. Just shoot us a message and we'll get you that copy set up right away. Anyways, guys, we're going to take a quick break, thank our sponsors, and we're coming back to Miko and Marco for some technical trade setups in the market. Be right back.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans, if you're interested in getting free access to the EDGEFINDER or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, guys, and we are back with Miko and Marco. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show.
Hello. Thank you.
Good to see you guys. And again, I prefaced this just a little bit, but you guys are more on the technical analysis side of things, which is always good to bring into some balance to the show. Leave it to me. If you leave me to do my own thing, I will just speak fundamentals and in circles for hours. So it's always good to have some technical traders join and kind of rope it back to the charts here for us. So maybe we'll go to Marco first. Marco, what's on the menu today for you?
Sure. So I was in 2 trades. First one was on EU from up here. And basically I got in on this nice downtrend after this ascending structure. So usually after these ascending channels, I expect the price to reverse in the opposite direction. And I just got taken out a couple of hours ago because right here price broke the structure. So it broke the high, meaning it broke the downtrend. So when I'm seeing a downtrend, I want to see it continuously break the lows. And because of that reason, I'm now expecting either range-bound price action or I'm expecting a reversal to the upside. And with this current candle, it's showing some momentum already. We'll see how it closes. But yeah, I would expect something like this to happen. And on the pound, I had a very similar thing. So on the pound, I actually took it on the flag formation right here with a 20 pip stop loss and got taken out at around the same hour right here on the bottom, where the price, according to the strategy that I trade, broke the structure and is now either going to range or it's going to reverse to the upside. So for me, what the charts are telling me, dollar pairs, this downtrend is kind of getting exhausted and it's kind of getting done, kind of ending. So Japanese pairs, EJ, very flat, very range bound. Another dollar pair, Aussie US dollar, is also, for me, showing me it wants to go up, kind of struggling to go to the downside, also showing some blue momentum. Am I looking to buy? No, not just yet. AJ, there was an opportunity for me to enter on this flag formation right here. Again, descending channel, impulse up, but I'm just seeing a bit of too much of selling pressure in the flag formation. So this one I did stay out of. And the final one is the New Zealand Japanese yen, which just looks it just looks a bit range bound and a bit too corrective. So not really looking for anything. To summarize, looking for buys on EU. EJ I'm leaving alone. AU looking for buys. AJ looking for buys as well. And the pound looking for buys as well. So very active markets this month has been pretty good. Very, very different compared to the last 3 or 4 months, which have been really slow. So definitely seeing some nice clean trends, I would say.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And again, definitely an interesting time in the dollar trend, right? It's really pushed real strong. And the question is that going to, well, I will try to stray away from too many fundamentals, but basically it needs something to spice up the trend to keep it moving, which in purely technical analysis world could just be something as big as a big news candle to really kind of reinvite some moves. So it could be interesting to see where we go there. Miko, last time we talked, I think you were still dollar bullish. We were talking about, I took that pound dollar trade again on stream here. I think you guys saw me do that just a few minutes ago. Totally, we'll see how that plays out. Again, my thesis there was pulling back into the supported structure. It's a bit aggressive. I know for the 4-hour trader that you are, Miko, this might be a little bit of a kind of a quick move. Could you do pound dollar for me? And any other dollar crosses? I know dollar is in focus today with that GDP number that just dropped.
Yeah. So so yeah, pound USD. I am sharing the same bias as you.
Or sorry, Miko, would you mind sharing your screen? I think we can't see it.
Okay, that's not the first time that's happened.
Yeah, no worries. I've done it too.
Okay, are we there? Or one moment. Okay. So yeah, pound USD, I do share the same bias as you. I'm still looking at price coming into the lows there as well. Yeah, for me personally, I like taking big breakouts. So I like price like clearing level like by a big amount. I try and avoid the shallow breakouts. They do work as well, but I just had more success with the bigger breakouts personally. But yeah, pound USD, I am bearish. I'm still looking at price coming into these lows. I did miss an opportunity last week to short pound USD. It didn't quite come into my area of interest, but price was tapping into this trend line, also into this price swing low on the left as well. I was hoping price can come a little bit higher, but it just missed it. Since then, we've had a very strong reaction in the daily chart, and most likely we will probably go and take out the lows. We have probably about 70-75% chance of the market coming to take out the lows and continue its trend. So in terms of my analysis, I'm still looking at more downside. For me, myself, I'm not really seeing much in terms of an opportunity that fits my plan for me to jump into pound, but I am bearish on the pair. Other dollar pairs, I do like Aussie dollar. I did take a loss on this one earlier this week. I got into an entry on this candle here. My stop loss was above the high. We had some Aussie news on Tuesday or Wednesday morning. Can't remember, but we had some Aussie news. It stopped me out, and then of course price once it took Miko stop loss, it decided it wanted to fall after that. I did have some shorts as well last week from here, but it eventually took me out for a small win. So I got back in, took a loss there, but I do still see more downside for Aussie dollar. If we can break these lows, that would be fantastic. And then I'm looking at price coming all the way back down to around the 0.62 region into this low here as well. So I like Aussie dollar shorts, and I also like dollar CAD longs if that one can pull back into some structure here. We've got some nice confluence around these parts, so it would be nice for a pullback. Still looking for dollar CAD to come back into the highs up there. So yeah, I'm still dollar bull, but Aussie dollar USD CAD is my main pairs of focus.
Sure. Yeah, no, good points there. I think at the end of the day, what one person sees on the chart or in terms of their strategy might not marry up exactly with what other people, see. I think one thing that's really important for viewers listening, especially if you're newer to this stuff, just because someone is so Mika, you just mentioned you're still dollar bullish. There's a difference between, I think, being bullish or being bearish something and actually taking an entry, right? So for example, I've been transparently in pain with my NASDAQ ideas because I think it was 3 trades in a row that I tried to catch a bullish continuation on this move. And I don't hate the price action that I entered on. There was a nice trade attempt that I had here that rolled over on me. There's another one that I took at this level and then I tried again. And so it was one of those things. I'm still more fundamentally bullish on the NASDAQ. I think that there is upside for stocks coming, but the technicals just didn't agree with me. And so sometimes it's simply, you might be bullish or bearish on something, but the indicators that you use, whether it be price action, RSI, trend, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, whatever you use technically to enter and exit the market, might not quite agree with you right away. So just wanted to make that point. Marco, in terms of the recent rally that we've seen in gold, I know that a lot of people in the audience are very curious about it. Gold, I mentioned it's had this crazy run up. And unfortunately, for one of the main catalysts behind this, it's been the war in the Middle East. It's been, concerns around escalation in that area. All of these things driving the price of gold higher recently. But I'd love to get your thoughts. Are we getting close to a reversal for gold? I know a lot of people are thinking, this gold move is just going to keep going. Other people are bent out of shape that it's got to reverse here. I'm really just neutral. I've stayed pretty neutral. My idea that I made earlier was if we get a break into the 2000s, it might change my mind a little bit. But I'd love to get your thought on gold. And then I'm going to ask the same thing to Miko, because again, lots of people curious about it today.
Sure, let's do it. So gold, I'm going to do the 1 hour chart. Okay, so it's getting exhaustive, but you never know with these moves. I need to get the confirmation, to be honest. What would be the confirmation? Well, the confirmation would be a nice, red downtrend with large red candles. So it's never good to call a bottom or a top if there is even no confirmation of any selling pressure. Let's say if you're calling a top and you're seeing this, this cannot go up anymore, it's hitting the 2000 level, or it's gonna hit it, and you can see the legs are getting more corrective as we go up. Now we're kind of ranging around as well, but this can also be just consolidation but before we push back up. So I'm completely neutral on this one. What I would need to see what would confirm a reversal would be, as I said, that confirmation, and would be like a really large downtrend. Then I would be happy to look for sells. But right now, no one knows. I cannot even tip the probabilities up or down, basically.
Yeah, it's a really tough call at these levels, because again, I really, one of the things that I kind of am careful with fundamental analysis is geopolitics, because they're so hard to predict, right? Because nobody knows. None of us know what's going to happen next with the United Nations or with Israel or with Gaza. We don't know what's going to happen there, and yet it's going to drive all the prices around everywhere. So it's that is a really tricky area. So I kind of default back to what I really lean into, which is more on the economic figures, numbers, and I try and stray away from the unknowns as much as I possibly can. But anyways, same question to Miko. What do you think about this gold move? Is it getting exhausted? And just I appreciated the way Marco broke that down in terms of what he would need to see if he was to derive a bias. So even if you're neutral, what would get you there on a bullish or bearish idea?
Yeah. So gold is interesting. I was talking about gold coming into the weekend. My main focus was this big level here at 1980, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, gold keeps dancing around this area here. You can see with current day's price action, it's a daily chart, by the way. Current day's price action, we've had a big wick to the upside so far. We obviously got 8 hours roughly before that candle does close. So a lot can happen in that time. But effectively, what I'm looking for is to see if we can have a big break of this, because what I'm looking at is potentially a reversal for gold. And if it is a reversal, most likely we're coming back to the highs here around 2050, 2060. So if I do see price clear this, I think that the momentum we've seen over the past couple of weeks, 3 weeks or so, will most likely continue. And then I'll just be looking at pullbacks, break and retest, just looking to find my patterns to continue price back into the high. So I'm not looking at shorts. I know price is rejecting the level quite well at the moment. Nice wicks. Of course, this candle still got a few hours before it does close, but I just don't want to short against this momentum here. It's just far too aggressive in my opinion, at least for my style anyway. It's just way too aggressive for myself. So I would never look to short move like that. I would either look for price to break away to the upside or potentially come back down. There's a nice high here on the left that I would possibly look to long from, depending how we react from. But well and truly, I want to see price break out and then follow it up. So yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I think that's a good way of breaking it down, is illustrating, you know, pretty much that's kind of where I'm at too. I think from a technical analysis standpoint, it's hard to deny, even if you're the most bullish person in the room on gold, you're still sitting at a level that has struggled to hold or struggled to break. And now the question is, if it does break, it's pretty clear. I know one other really tense point in the market that I've talked about a lot that has a similar narrative is the dollar yen. I think we talked about this together in terms of this 150 level. Big psychological level, but also not just for everyday traders is it psychologically important, but it's also important to the Bank of Japan, who has pretty clearly, the last few times we've traded in this range, they've intervened on their own currency and talked down the price, the exchange rate, because they don't like dollars being this expensive for them. So they buy their own bonds, they work against this to try and combat that. But I've made the point, and just like you just did there with gold there, Miko, this idea that if you get a huge level that everybody's aware of, if it just screams through and closes, right? Because you did get a breakout here on dollar yen. This is interesting price action, but it failed to close. Like, this is just back to indecision land. If we got this candle and it closed like this, you know, again, that just marked a massive change to the way we all perceive this level. So I think that's another chart that's stayed on my watch list for a minute, and I'm very curious to see how it plays out going forward. But again, 150, big psychological level for dollar yen that could be really key for us to watch. I also want to just take a quick look over at the euro. Right now, I know that we do have the ECB press conference occurring at 8:45 a.m., which was, of course, about 10, 11 minutes ago started. So I would just want to alert everybody who is watching euro pairs. It is very likely that you get some volatility here on the intraday candles. Again, a little bit of spike on the euro. We'll have to check in and see what was exactly said. But expectations for the euro, I'd love to kind of loop back one way around the room again with you guys. Euro pairs, what are your thoughts? Maybe euro across the board, whatever you'd like to do. Again, we'll go Marco and Miko, same question. So Marco, any euro pairs or thoughts on euro for people who may be watching them today?
Yeah, sure. So for me, there was a nice downtrend right here. But again, the legs were getting smaller. We're just breaking and retracing, and now this mess on the bottom. So what I do expect in the short term is either like a flat range here or a complete reversal to the upside, something like this. What I'm looking for is possible reversal, and then I will look to buy on the euro and US dollar. So I'm expecting upside for this pair, EJ, euro, Japanese yen, news candle. So it's very important what happens in the next few hours. Right now, it's not looking good. It's starting to range around. Usually, in most cases, when I see a news candle and we start ranging around of it, inside of it, then usually range continues for a really, really long time. So this one I'm just completely leaving alone. What I want to see price pick a direction up or pick a direction down, and then I would be looking to buy or sell. And I do have a question. You have mentioned that there is, of course, a war going on, which is pretty recent. So what's your plan and what's Miko's plan? Do you go close on Friday or do you not trade certain pairs? Like, how do you implement that into your trading, some of these outside conditions?
I'll answer that quickly, and then I'll pass it over to Miko for both that and the euro. I think war adds overnight risk for sure, because just because the markets are closed doesn't mean war stops, right? Unfortunately, I wish it was that way. It's like that story, the Christmas Day kind of celebration in World War II, where they all stopped and played soccer together, which, I don't know. But anyways, with it, when it comes to markets, Saturdays, Sundays, sure, the markets are closed, but things can continue. So the overnight risk, I do think, is elevated. However, I think one contrarian view to that is that if you are fundamentally bullish or bearish something, and everybody's going to be getting out, they might be giving up their seats, if you will, to some great trades. So like they might, for example, they might sell off their stocks. You might actually be able to pick up stocks at a cheap rate, carry that overnight risk, yes, but benefit in some ways. I'm going to bring that same question to Miko. Let me just interject for 1 second for those of you guys who are watching or listening in on the ECB stuff that's happening right now. So Lagarde basically has reiterated that the economy remains weak. Manufacturing is continue to fall, subdued demand, tighter financing, damp consumption, economy likely to remain weak for the rest of the year. This is not unexpected, right? The European region has seen some slowdown, and I've kind of voiced my opinion on dollar preference for that very reason. So in my opinion, pops on the euro are more bearish than anything. So go back to Miko in terms of euro pairs, as well as Marco's thoughts on holding trades over the weekend. Take either one first. What do you think?
Yeah, so firstly, the news, I'm pretty much just trading how I've always done. Again, in terms of like Russia-Ukraine, which was last year, I didn't really change much of my trading. The markets were definitely more volatile. I remember EURUSD and pound USD were affected quite a lot. There's big moves there. Gold, we're seeing big moves across the FX pairs. There hasn't been too much in terms of anything crazy, but in terms of my risk management, I normally have max positions on at one time is 2, and that's very rare that I actually have 2 positions at once anyway. So in terms of my exposure to my account, this is quite minimal. And yeah, of course, there's that risk that potentially price might gap and stuff. But I think that's just a price I have to pay just as a trader in general. Like that can happen at any point. So yeah, my take on it is just from a trading standpoint, is just kind of trade as normal. Maybe be a bit careful, but I'm not such an aggressive trader. I swing, I hold. I don't really trade too many instruments at one point, so my exposure is not that elevated. So yeah, I just trade as normal pretty much. In terms of the euro pairs, quite bullish, I have to say. EuroCAD's on my watch list at the moment. I'm looking at some buys. If I can see some necessary retracement into this zone here, that would be much appreciated. Around 1.45, I'm looking to see if I can catch the next higher low. With this one, we're starting to, it appears to be we're going through a reversal here. So I'm looking to see if I can trade in an opposite direction. We've got a big level here as well. So I want to see if we can come back and retest that zone. So EuroCAD, you see more upside. EURUSD, I'm also bullish as well as we're creating this bullish structure. However, it's not very clean for myself. I was looking at the start of the week, but we had a crazy move down. So it's kind of messy things up, but we haven't actually broke structure. We're still obeying that swing low there. So I still do see more upside. High time frames are still pretty bullish as well, as we can see. So I'm bullish in EURUSD, but not really looking for a trade. Same thing with EURUSD. High time frames still creating higher highs and higher lows. So my bias is still pointing up, and I still think there's a good probability we'll come back to the high there. But again, I'm not really seeing much of an entry that fits my style to actually jump into any positions. EURUSD, for this one, I'm still bearish on, but it looks like we might see some retracement. We're respecting some areas here quite well. Higher time frames for me, still respecting key areas in the market. We came back and we tested this zone here. Pretty aggressive reaction. So I do think most likely euro eventually come back and take the lows out, similar to pound USD. But we may see some retracement before that first, maybe a lower high somewhere, maybe coming to these areas. I'm not really looking at shorting euro myself. I'm focused on other dollar pairs, but that's kind of what I'm envisioning for that pair. So euro, I'm quite bullish on, I would have to say, but EURUSD, I see more downside.
Fair enough. And I should also just mention, guys, that I'm re-entering, or I have re-entered my pound dollar idea. My first one, totally whiffed it, but I took a small trade on that first attempt. We'll see if I'm right about this second one. The price pulled back just a bit further into this level. Really strong candle here. And again, I don't necessarily think pound upside looks too extensive from here. I've got a stop loss now just ahead of this level of resistance. So this will be my second attempt. If you're familiar with my style of trading, you know this is pretty consistent with what I usually do. I'll oftentimes take more than one attempt on a trade because my stops I know are relatively tight. So if I catch a good one, it can often run very well. But in this case, my second entry was a little bit better so far. We'll see if it can hold this zone. I like this area here quite a bit. I think it's a 61.8. Let's see, 61.8%. Yep, so it tagged at 61.8. And now we'll see if this one continues to roll over. But I think that GDP number coming out here real strong out of the US initially saw a little bit of a pop against it. Perhaps just investors who were thinking, you know, GDP could come out even stronger. GDP numbers this morning, it's a confusing one, guys, because stronger than expected GDP numbers were scary to the market because what that means is the Fed's going to have to do more. So people were concerned about that. And we did, in fact, get stronger than GDP, stronger than expected numbers. So now that it's out, there's this weird effect in markets where sometimes people are like, the news does opposite of what everybody expects. Sometimes it's actually that people expect it to be so bad, and when it's not as bad as they think, there's just a little bit of a correction. So it can be confusing, but looking at the bigger picture, I think we're still in an environment where the US dollar looks strong. I have a general bullish bias. Now my stop is just above here, so we'll let this one try and play out from here. Anyways, guys, Miko, Marco, thank you guys both for joining us on the show again with a turbulent morning, to say the least, to go through all this stuff. It's always good to get both of you guys' takes on things. And before we let you go, let me just remind everybody in the audience, if you have not already, Miko and Marco, both great guys to have on your YouTube subscription list. We've dropped their links in the chat right now. So if you click these links, they'll take you to Miko and Marco's channel, respectively, where you can keep up with their ideas, their trade setups, their whatever they're sharing over there. Again, they come on once a week here. So if you want more, make sure to go follow them on their own socials. Miko, Marco, thank you guys both for coming on the show today.
Thank you. See you next time.
See you guys. All right, guys. Yes. So again, pound dollar. My first attempt, I think, was a bit early here, but I do like my second attempt. I've shared that trade alert inside of Discord. I just mentioned that I had a re-entry a few moments ago, and we'll see how that one plays out. Again, first trade was a loss. Second one, we'll keep a close eye on. And again, I want to retouch on just for a second what I said about re-entries. Re-entries, people like they'll look at them like they're like how could you possibly be wrong ever in the markets, right? I'm wrong pretty frequently, but the point is, for me, it's like if you can catch one really good risk reward trade and you're one that you're really right about, you don't have to be right all the time. You just have to be right big when it counts. And I know that that's not for everybody, because not everybody can stomach a higher lose rate, which I've kind of come to accept. I lose pretty frequently on my trades. Like 55% of my trades might be losses, but in that 45% of the time, I can catch some of the bigger trades that I catch, right? So I don't mind, re-entering a trade if I still like it and I can find a better technical entry. Let's see if my second entry works out a little bit better. As always, you guys know, you can find the trade alerts being shared inside of our Discord by messaging us if you'd like access. And finally, if you're a regular viewer here, this is the day. This is the day we're giving out free access. The EDGEFINDER is free to use if you message us right here. So click this link. This link will take you to a place. And again, like I said, the EDGEFINDER, we are giving out free copies today for the day. If you guys would like to try out the EDGEFINDER, click this link. It's in the chat right now. It's also in the description down below if you're watching this video at a later point. Click free EDGEFINDER access. Again, that ends tomorrow. So you guys get another 24 hours to check out the software and to play around with it, click through it, see if it's right for you. Again, we've had a ton of people giving us great feedback so far and liking the tool. So now's your chance. We again, are opening it up to the public. The doors are wide open. It's like a viewing. It's like an art gallery. So if you want to come check out the art gallery, take advantage, come play around. Again, we'd really appreciate just some feedback. Even if you don't end up buying the software, we'd love your feedback, because this is something we work really hard on refining. This is what I believe to be one of the best products out there for combining a ton of market data in one single tool that allows you to filter all of that data, but also it has a brain to it. The EDGEFINDER thinks through all of this economic data, the COT reports, the retail sentiment, and it gives you scoring mechanisms across the board and generates bullish or bearish setups. So I like the pound dollar because I'm getting a reading here of -8. So that's a nice confirmation to my trading. So again, like I said, no strings attached. Just shoot us a message right now and we'll get you the link to the EDGEFINDER and you can play around with it yourself. Okay, click this link. Again, we'd really appreciate it. We've put our hearts, souls, blood, sweat, and tear into building this tool, and you can play around with it for the day for free. So see if it's right for you. We'd love to. And again, I'm trying to stay transparent. The goal is for you to try out our software, click through it, look at the smart money tracker, look at all the stuff that we have on the tool. And if it's right for you, we'd love if you purchased a product. We're a software company, but we don't want to sell tools to people unless it's the right fit for them. So now's your chance to come check it out. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up the show here today. Thank you very much for tuning in with us, and we will see you back in the next one. See you guys.
Before you disappear, one lucky person who joins the free Discord will win an upgrade to the VIP Discord for the rest of your mortal life. The VIP Discord features Nick and Frank's trade updates and analysis,
live webinars, chat rooms with traders from all around the world, along with so much more.
Click the link being dropped in the chat to secure your spot in the free Discord, and maybe you'll be our upgrade winner. We're dying to meet you.